Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman, and in this lesson we're going to continue working on The Village Prophet by Rousseau. Today we're tackling the left-hand part, so let's check out the sheet music to get started. Let's look at the left-hand part for The Village Prophet. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and take these first two lines, measures 1 through 8, and analyze every interval between all of the notes. So for example, from this G up to this D, what interval would that be? That's the interval of a fifth. One quick way to recognize a fifth is to see this is a space note. We skipped a space to the next space. It's kind of like a double skip, which is a fifth. What about the distance from here to here? From D to B is a third. Thirds are easy to recognize because it's a space to the nearest space, or it could be a line to the next nearest line. Now, pause the video and on your own, go through and figure out all the intervals between each successive note and write it in. Use a pencil just in case there's a mistake. It's easy to erase with a pencil. And pause the video to analyze all the intervals and then press play when you're ready to check your answer. Here are the intervals. So why don't you check your answers? We go up a fifth, down a third, then up a fourth, up a second. Remember, if notes are stepping, we can call that a step up, or we can call it the interval of a second. Then down an octave, which is also called an eighth, up a fourth, then up a third, then from here to here is down a third. So let's also mark that in your music if you didn't already. Then up a fifth, down a third, up a fourth, up a second, down an octave or an eighth, up a fourth, then up a fifth, down a third to bring us to measure 9. Now, if you need to fix any of those, press pause to fix anything. Otherwise, let's keep going. Now, you'll recall that The Village Prophet is in the key of G minor. At least I hope you recall that. It's always important to keep in mind what key you're in so you can remember the sharps and flats. You remember where Do is. So, to kind of warm up your left hand, let's play the G natural minor scale. 2 octaves. Up and down. Will you pause the video? And don't forget that we've got our B flats and E flats. We use all 5 fingers and cross over a finger 3, cross over a finger 4, cross over a finger 3. Then coming down 3, then 4 plays A, 3, and then you're done. Press pause and review that G natural minor scale up and down 2 octaves, then press play to go on. Now, let's see. We start with finger 5 of the left hand on this G, which is fairly near middle C. So we'll be right here. Here's my middle C. And because I know we're going to have a B flat, I'm going to go ahead and have my finger 3 ready on that B flat. Now, what I'd like you to do is press pause and see if on your own you can figure out this first line from measures 1 through 4 on your own. Note that while your hand starts in this position, by the time you get to that octave jump down, remember we've got this D and then our finger 5 has to come all the way down to this D. And then we go up a fourth and it says finger 3. So there's going to be a little bit of a glide or a stretch there. Okay, so be aware of those last 4 notes of the line. In fact, let's learn that first. Let's start here on D with finger 1. Down to this D with finger 5, then up to G, B flat with fingers 3 and 2. Okay, one more time, D, down to D, then G with finger 3, then B flat with 2. Now the rest of the line, I'd like you to figure out on your own. So press pause, figure out measures 1 through 4 on your own, then press play and we'll try it together. Here's what it should have sounded like. we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And notice because of that decrescendo there, I'm going to float my left hand, forearm and wrist a little bit as I get to that last note of the phrase. Okay? Now, let's try it together. Get your hand in position. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now press pause and work on that a little more on your own until you feel really confident with it. Then press play to go on. Now, here's a little mystery challenge for you. The question is, in which measure of line 1 do you outline a G minor triad? If you said measure 2, you're correct. In measure 2, see how those notes move through the G minor triad? It's called outlining the triad. See, it just skips down through that G minor chord. Now, let's take a look at line 2. What do you notice about the notes of this line? You'll notice that measures 5, 6, and 7 are the same as measures 1, 2, and 3. However, in measure 8, we've got this slightly new pattern. Now, instead of what we did before, we have G all the way up to D and then B flat with finger 3, 1, 3. And we have to use that fingering because of what we just played in the measure before and what we're going to play in the next measure. So, trust me that fingering is going to be very useful. So now, press pause and work on measures 5 through 8 on your own. And let's actually go into the first note of measure 9. And so measures 5 through 9 on your own, then press play to go on. Now, let's talk about the style of playing this piece. Because this piece comes from the Baroque style, it's important to play it with the right Baroque kind of sound. And one thing that will make you sound more Baroque in your playing, and I don't mean broke, but Baroque, when you play in a Baroque style, it's very common to kind of separate your quarter notes a little bit. Instead of being perfectly legato, it sounds more interesting and true to the Baroque style to kind of detach them a little bit like this. Listen. So it's almost staccato, but not quite. It's not a true staccato. It's just putting a little bit of space in between each note. Listen. It's kind of like a chubby staccato instead of a really quick staccato. It's a little bit bouncy sounding, but not too aggressive. The half note is the only one we're going to hold and make that a little legato. Okay, now press pause and on your own work on a nice detached sound. One thing that will help with that is to just kind of use your arm and a really relaxed wrist and just think of gently dropping on each of these notes. See how I do that? Now press pause and work on a good Baroque detached sound and then press play to go on. Now, once we get to measure 9, the notes are the same as before, but this time piano. So it's like an echo. And then here, the change is that we just hold on that G for a dotted half note. Okay, so now that you know all of the notes of the A section, let's come back to the sheet music and check out the B section. For the B section of the Village Prophet, let's do the same thing for the left hand where we analyze these intervals. This time, instead of a melodic interval where we see the notes one at a time, this time we have a harmonic interval. which means that the notes play together, but we still want to measure the distance between those notes. So can you tell me this harmonic interval? If you said a fifth, you're correct. So go ahead and put a 5 in your music next to that interval. Now, what do you see for this interval? This would be the interval of a sixth. So we can write a 6 there. One way you could have quickly noticed that is to see that the top note did not change. It's a repeat, but this bottom note stepped down. When you notice patterns like that, comparing to what you just played, if you knew that this one was a fifth, that's a quick way to realize, oh, if this note steps down, it must be a sixth. What interval do you see here? Well, again, if you compare to what you just did, this note stepped down and this bottom note of the harmonic interval also stepped down. So, which means it must still be a sixth. Now, can you figure out this next interval? This time the top note is stepping up and the bottom note is stepping down. You could also notice that this is a D and this is a D. When we go from one note to the next of the same note, that's an octave. So we know that this is an eighth or an octave. Now, what do you notice when you look at the left-hand part for this next line of music? You'll notice that all the intervals are the same. So let's come to the piano and try and play it. Let's find where our left hand goes. Our finger 5's on this G, and then finger 1's on the D, a step above middle C. We hold that for 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Remember, this top note repeats, the bottom note steps down to form the interval of a sixth. 1, 2, 3. We've got that F natural and the D. Then both notes step down. But recall that E is automatically flat. So we're going to shift our hand forward. Remember, don't try and reach black notes by twisting your arm. Just glide forward to be able to comfortably reach that black key, the E flat and the C. And that forms that sixth. And then the top note steps up, the bottom note steps down to form this octave. Now, if your hand can't quite reach an octave, for example, if you have smaller hands, then just take that low note and leave out the top note, okay? But if you can reach that octave, boom, there you've got it, from D to D. So try it with me now, back to measure 17. Here we go. We have a fifth, 1, 2, 3, stretch down to a sixth, 2, 3. Both notes step down, E flat and C, 1, 2, 3. Then we expand to the octave. One more time. Going on to measure 21, we do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3. Go down to a sixth, 2, 3. Both notes step down. 1, 2, 3. Expand to the octave. Great. Now press pause and work on measures 17 through measures 24. Those 2 lines. Work that on your own a few times till you're comfortable with those harmonic intervals. Then press play to go on. Now, to check on how you did, I'd like you to play the left hand of this B section. I'll play the left hand and the right hand, so you get used to how they sound together. Notice, like here in measure 18, how the left hand plays on beat 1 while the right hand rests. So it will sound like this. Listen to it once. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Left hand always plays on beat 1. The right hand often is resting on beat 1. So make sure as you're playing the left hand, let's have you count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Will you try that with me? Let's count out loud and play the left hand. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'll play the right hand and the left hand. You just play the left hand and count. ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I slow down just a tiny bit right there because it's the end of the B section, and that helps our ears get ready for the return to the A section. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're right back to the normal tempo. Then it repeats. Notice a crescendo mark, so notice how each line of the B section starts soft, and then we have a crescendo mark. So we're going to keep getting louder until we see that day crescendo. Now we crescendo again. Float the wrist a little bit. Now we're back to the A section. Now let's practice the B section where you play the left hand and I'll play the right hand and the left hand, and we'll try and follow the dynamics really carefully this time. So let's start soft and then grow to the end of the line and then follow the day crescendo. Here we go. I'll count 3 beats and then we'll start. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, grow. Grow, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now start soft again. Grow, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're back to the A section. Great work learning the left-hand part for The Village Prophet. During your practice time, work carefully on the left-hand part and also be sure to continue to review and practice the right-hand part. Please be sure to be careful with your piano posture. And of course, always listen for a beautiful tone as you play. Don't just hammer out the notes to try and get your practice done in a hurry. Be a musical artist who is always working to craft something beautiful to share. Once you have the left hand and right hand parts mastered, you'll be ready to put it hands together in another lesson soon. Happy practicing, and see you next time.
T-Rex, I have a question for you. Okay. Do dinosaurs have scales?
Of course we have scales. Here's one for you now. G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F sharp, G.
Yes, that was a very nice G minor harmonic scale.
I have even more scales. Do you want to hear them?
Sure. Why don't you come with me? We'll get some lunch. You can sing on the way.
Oh, goody. Here's D minor. D, E, F, G, A.